between a production and the area we represent. So any type of production, whether it is a still shoot, so a photo for like maybe a magazine, a commercial, a reality TV, independent feature film, so like a Sundance type movie or a studio feature film, anything like that, music video, anything, we call that all film. And we give them a film permit to help them film here legally. And the whole goal is to help stimulate our economy, and it is obviously a temporary infusion of dollars for when they come to the area. Obviously, we're having a little bit of a different time during COVID, and we will get to that towards the end and explain a little bit currently how we're handling that to make sure that everybody in the community is safe while we still have filming here. We market the area to the world because it's not just Hollywood. There's film everywhere now, film productions everywhere, film companies everywhere. I even 2 years ago went to London to a trade show to market our area because obviously we have a stunning area to film in. We have the redwoods, the iconic redwoods, and the amazing coastline, as well as our Victorian villages and our architecture. So we are very unique, and I'm very lucky to be able to have to market this area for filming. And we help like I said, all kinds of productions, but we help them with all kinds of things. So we don't just help them with the location. That's the number one reason why they reach out to us is, hey, we're coming to your area. We need a redwood grove that we can do this. Or, hey, we need a beach that we could do this on. Or, hey, we're looking for a town that we could do that. So we help them scout. We help them with the location. We help them with the permit, but we also help them with crew and vendors and you name it. I have helped with all kinds of things in the past 10 years, things I never thought I would help with. And it's been really interesting and very fun. And it's amazing what they need, all the help they need. I was a producer and worked in film for 10 years prior to becoming a film commissioner. So I actually worked with film commissions, and I know what it's like to have an indie feature film or an episodic television show and need help from the area that I'm filming in. And so that is how I operate. We are a standalone nonprofit. We are not funded by the productions that come here. We are solely funded by Humboldt-Del Norte entities. And I and Nate, my assistant, my left hand, absolutely 100% help them with everything that they might need when they're here. We also help promote film tourism. So sometimes film tourism can bring in more money to an area than actual filming. For instance, Hunger Games, people flock to the Carolinas to see, the woods where they did all of that, we had Twilight, where, the town in Oregon, which they actually didn't even film in, but they said that they filmed there. Those people started putting little stickers with like little vampire teeth on the stores, to show they were Twilight friendly. And the hospital put a parking lot for the doctor, a parking space, named for the doctor at the hospital. So we learned from all those things, and we created a thing called Map of the Movies, which has had over 100,000 views on Google Maps. We've created a map. It's downloaded off of our website. It's also, we print about 10,000 of them yearly, and the state parks have said it is the #1 brochure that they run out of first. So now we are actually in the middle of making an app for your phone so that you can go do a self-guided tour to the different places that our most popular movies have filmed in Humboldt and Del Norte. And there should be a marker if it has not been stolen and we've replaced it at these film sites where you can go and see where some of these major iconic movies have been filmed. I also, just to let you know too, I was also, I'm immediate past president right now, but I was president of FLICS, which is Film Liaisons in California statewide. So it's all the film commissioners in California. And we run like a sister organization with the California Film Commission. And I was president for 3.5 years, which I was the longest standing president in California, as well as I'm now a certified international film commissioner. I just finished that this spring. So we are a part of AFCI, which is the Association Film Commissioner International. So, so we're busy in our office of two. And thank gosh for our interns, volunteers, and our board of directors that help us. And we really value their time and energy with us. So when we're promoting our area, you know, one of the things that we came up with was a video to show the beautiful, epic terrain that we have, because obviously why they come here first is locations. So Nate is now going to, assuming that he has the ability to share, that they've set the settings that he can share. He is now, oh, looks like so. He is now going to show you our video that we created about 5+ years ago that is in every email and is part of our promotional material that we send off to location managers. And Nate, make sure you're sharing the sound. So we're gonna let him figure out how to share the sound. Yes, there is sound. But unfortunately, when you first share a video on Zoom, I don't know if you guys have done this, I found this out the first time. When you share a video, it'll share the video, but it doesn't automatically share the sound. So he has to go to, let me figure out. There we go, found it. So obviously the image is not moving. Hang on one second for us. It's not, I can't see it. We can't see it. Raise your hand if you can see the video actually playing. You can't see the video playing. Thank you. Okay, so my assistant can see it playing on his end and we can't see it. So hold on tight. Why don't you refresh it and let's see.
Of course, there's a technical difficulty.
Oh, we can hear you. So he's trying to, so on his end, he could see it, he could hear it and see it. Obviously we could only hear it and we couldn't see it. So he's trying again, he's reloading it. Poor guy.
Yeah, sometimes when it's a larger group like this, it kind of bogs down the system and can get a little funky. So we'll make it work.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, it's what's great about this was it was made by two locals. Well, one who was a college student here, and then one who was a local here. Here we go. So that gives a little bit of the general kind of terrain that we have. Obviously, you probably saw one, but there's this and there's this and there's this, and there's so many great locations for this area. But that is like the predominant type of locations that they usually first come to us for. It's probably actually time for us to remake it and kind of update based on the new trend. Thank you, people who are clapping and liked it, reading your comments. So yeah, it was great. It was made by Malcolm DeSoto and Andy Rosowski. And Andy went to HSU and he's gone on to work with Alexander Payne and work on a whole bunch of huge movies. And Malcolm is self-taught, which is amazing. And he's also gone down to LA now, which I'm very sad about because he used to make all our, really good material here. But he's amazing. He's left his brother, thank God, because his brother is pretty amazing as well, Jonathan. As I said, we had 100 years of filming in the Redwood Region celebration. The first movie was in 1916, and that was Last of the Lumberland. Sadly, there is no footage anywhere. They can't find any footage from the first movie. It was a series. It was actually before they actually called them like movies. So it was a series of short parts of movies, obviously black and white, no talking, and it had to do with railroads and lumberlands and all of that. So there's some photos and they know what it was about. They filmed it in Arcata, I believe a little bit in Eureka, and I forget where else it might have been north of here, but they also, they filmed at Arcata Hotel and they used the back part of Arcata Hotel as their soundstage, which was really cool. So it's pretty epic historically for us that, our first movie here was made in 1916, or what they called a movie back then. My assistant's texting me, so yes, I do realize we're playing the 100-year video. But so we have a video that we made that is our 100-year video that we showed at our anniversary, and we are going to show it now. Or he will. So we've had amazing movies over the past 100+ years. It's been pretty exciting to be part of the past 10 years of all of that. As I said, our first movie was in 1916, Last of the Lumberlands, which no longer exists. But the first movie that we do have footage of is Valley of the Giants, which became pretty popular in 1919. And we have footage from the Library of Congress, and we are going to show you the trailer of the very first movie that we have documented, or that we have documentation of.
It's actually technically a clip.
Ah, a clip. Sorry, not a trailer. Thank you, Nate. And you can see the big logs, obviously, in the train of why they came to the area. Right there says it all. Awesome. So again, movies go outside of a studio because they're looking for locations. That is the main reason. Things have changed about 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. When we went on a writer strike 15, 20 years ago, we started seeing reality television. And then after reality television, different counties, states, countries started creating what we call a tax incentive. So if you come to me and film in my area, I'll give you a tax break or I'll give you a refund. And because of that, then productions, what we started calling about 10, 15 years ago, runaway productions, started leaving. And they started going like to Canada, New York, wherever, that had Georgia, you might have heard of, this. And because of that, they could save money. And so they were filming things that no longer were about like, oh, we want to film in the Redwoods. Well, they'd go, well, we could cheat that and film that in Washington or Canada or whatever. And so they started cheating locations of where they wanted to film. If they couldn't recreate it on a studio lot, instead of going there, they would go then to these places that they could get this tax incentive. Luckily for us, California finally has caught up with that. And so we now have a great tax incentive that I helped lobby for in Sacramento and help show how tax incentive movies actually bring economic benefit to a rural area like us. And so now California has a pretty competitive tax incentive to bring production back to California. And so they have, which has been amazing. So again, now they're traveling here for things that they actually need for the locations. So in 1947, what was amazing is there was a movie called Green Dolphin Street, starring Lana Turner, the amazing Lana Turner. And it was the first movie to ever win an Academy Award for visual effects. And that was filmed here. So Nate is going to show us, I believe, the trailer for this.
make use of that moment. Marguerite, ever since I last saw you, I've thought of nothing but you. I love you. May I say that? I love you.
If I ever marry, it won't be because the bridegroom is a good businessman.
Marian, my dear, sometimes you shock me.
Of course I do. I'm bold and scheming. Sometimes I think I'm not quite nice. Don't talk of losing your independence.
A man in love has no independence worth mentioning. Yes, Marianne, I love you. I have for years.
When you came in here and took me in your arms, it was the best moment of my whole life. You know, I've discovered it's possible to be utterly happy and utterly miserable both at once.
So we didn't get a lot of footage of where you could see us in the trailer, but obviously you could see the tree part. And what's interesting about that is we often get shot as different areas, either states, countries even. And in this case, we were shot as New Zealand. So, which is really interesting. I think we're also going to play you a video later where Ava DuVernay from Wrinkle in Time, the director of Wrinkle in Time, she's in New Zealand. So there's a funny little connection there. But she talks about us. So the next trailer that we're going to show you, Gun Glory in 1957, also actually was shot as something else, and it was Wyoming. So we often get shot, you know, the redwoods, you kind of know, okay, those are the redwoods, right? The coast can be anything. Sometimes we're like a deserted island, or we're, you know, someplace like that. And inland, especially more of the ranches, grassy kind of areas, we can be shot for anything. We've been a Marlboro commercial that was supposed to be like Midwest. And so again, Gun Glory in 1957 was shot, this area was shot for Wyoming, which is pretty amazing, which the more diverse we are like that, the better we can sell our area for different types of productions. So Nate, please show us the trailer.
Mind what I say. Live by the gun, you die by it. Depends what kind of a shot you are.
Here is a new and rugged role for Stuart Granger. Equally at home, in the saddle, with a gun in his hand, or with a girl in his arms, like lovely red-haired Rhonda Fleming.
You don't think she's sleeping in a barn?
Why should she?
A wanton, running after a killer, and you stick up for her. You ain't talking much like a man of God.
Sam, you ain't even talking like a man.
Chill Wills is the gun-toting frontier parson, fighting for the right, whether leading a posse or a lusty hymn.
Hi, preacher.
Hi, Tom.
He was talking about me, wasn't he?
Now, what could the preacher tell me about you that I didn't already know? That you're real pretty. A fine cook.
I know what he told you. Wayne Scott must be talking all over town, poisoning everybody about my living out here with you, saying I'm no better than a little...
Don't try to be a hero, Sonny. One move out of you, and she's gonna wind up dead.
I want to see the look on his face when it hits him.
that was actually filmed at To Be Ranch down in southern Humboldt, which is amazing if you've been down in that area. So the next movie that we're going to talk about, Salem's Lot. What's really interesting about this one is that it was a made-for-TV movie that became a cult classic. It was filmed in Ferndale, and it has just celebrated last year its 40th anniversary of filming in the area. And like I said, it's become a cult classic. People follow it. People love it. It is a Stephen King movie. And let's show the trailer.
Ben Mears has been away too long. And now at last, he's come home.
The men fought at Valley Forge.
Daddy, come back safe.
Home to the childhood memories, to the old familiar faces, to a life unmolested by time.
And with your saints, let him rejoice in your presence forever. We ask it through Christ our Lord, amen.
Home to Salem's Lot, a town too good to be true.
What was that?
Did you happen to notice the time when the boys left?
We shouldn't have gone through the woods.
It's a shortcut.
Well, then they should have been here half an hour ago.
Wait! Danny, wait!
Something is happening. Something terrible.
Henry! Where's Ralphie? Ralph.
Where's your brother?
First the kid disappears, and this. You're not leaving Salem's Lot, are you?
I'm not leaving. Don't you understand what's happening?
Do you?
Yes, I do. It's in the Marston house. Good evening. I dreamed. You slept there all night? Yeah. A little tired. Didn't sleep much last night. I was dreaming. Somebody out there.
Sweet dreams.
I let him in.
Oh, it's only all just happened
Since I came here.
It wasn't a dream.
Stop, holy man! You can do nothing against the master.
They're breeding on one another. The vampires are creating vampires.
The master wants you.
It's a geometric progression. 2 times 2 times 4 times 8.
There's a dead man upstairs.
Bill! Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
Look at me. Ned Tibbetts' body has disappeared from the morgue.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Bill!
And Susan's in there. Run! No!
Look at him!
Stephen King, the best-selling author of Carrie and The Shining, takes you on a startling journey to Salem's Lot.
So in the beginning of that, you really could see more of the locations, obviously, that, you know, it definitely looked like our area, the architecture, the trees. My assistant says that the house was a facade built on an existing house, apparently that was there. And like I said, that's just become a cult classic. So some of you guys might not know, but E.T. also filmed in this region. And so E.T. filmed in Humboldt and Del Norte. It had the culvert scene where he's dying in Humboldt, the tree stump where he's phoning home in Del Norte, and the flying over the tree line was also Del Norte County, amongst other little area scenes. So Nate, would you please show us the trailers so that we could see that part?
He's lost. He's alone. And he's 3 million light years from home. In spring 2002, only in theaters,
I'm keeping him.
Steven Spielberg's masterpiece will come to life.
Home. Home.
For a whole new generation. Experience the mystery.
Wait, what is it? I don't know. Something scary.
The wonder.
What's happening?
The call.
E.T. Phone home.
That started it all. With never-before-seen footage, enhanced special effects, and an all-new digitally remastered soundtrack. The extraordinary 20th Anniversary Edition. E.T., the Extraterrestrial.
I'll be right here.
Only.
Yeah, I'm reading your guys' comments, and yeah, it is amazing to know like that this stuff was here. You know, I didn't know ET was here even, you know, until I became film commissioner and started looking at our history, you know, and it was amazing. So another main big one, you know, when we talk about the area and we talk about filming that has happened here, one of the most top 3, if not 2, if not 1, number 1 movie that was filmed here is Return of the Jedi from Star Wars. I have a son, so plus Nate, my assistant, is a Star Wars fanatic, so I can't escape it. But they filmed both in Humboldt and Del Norte counties. And we have this great video from our friend, Mark Hamill.
Hi, I'm Mark Hamill. I want to congratulate you for 100 years of filming in the Redwood region. Not many places are suitable to represent a galaxy far, far away. That's why we're so lucky to be able to film in the Redwoods for Return of the Jedi. And we will be eternally grateful.
So that was amazing. I was when we were having our 100-year anniversary, and we did ask a few people to create us little clips. As I said, Ava DuVernay from Wrinkle in Time made us one, which you'll see in a minute. But Mark was very sweet. He was in the middle of filming one of the Star Wars movies. My assistant's going to kill me for not remembering which one. And he was in London. And my assistant said, "Oh my God, I bet we could get him to do it." And sure enough, his wife filmed him, and they took the time to do that, which we were so honored and grateful for, that they sent us this. And he's texting me, but Nate, actually, I'd like you to unmute yourself, please, and mention Kevin briefly about how he did contact our office. So Kevin played an Ewok, and he ended up coming through our region about a year ago.
Yeah, so I got a phone call randomly one afternoon saying, hi, I worked on this movie back in like 1981, 1982 in your area, and I'm going to be coming through because I'm working on a memoir. Perhaps you've heard of the movie Return of the Jedi. And I, being a huge Star Wars nerd, was super excited. And it turned out that Kevin was one of the Ewoks and was the stunt Ewok. So any of the stunt scenes where you see Ewoks jumping off things, rolling over things, falling down, dying, or chopping the ropes like you saw in that video, that was our friend Kevin. And so he came through the office, hung out with us for a couple hours. I got to know him really well. And this past May 4th, Star Wars Day, he actually took over our live feed on our Facebook page and did a Q&A with fans for, man, I don't know, about an hour and a half. So that video is still on our Facebook page. So you can go to our Facebook page and listen to Kevin talk about his experiences working as an Ewok here in the Redwood region. So that's pretty cool. And his memoir is coming out fairly soon. I believe it's actually being published now. So we'll be sharing that on our Facebook page also.
Nice. Thank you, Nate. And you know, something else that I don't think later on, so I'm just going to drop it right now, is we did create, so first we did that with Kevin, and then after that we realized that we had about 6, 7, 8 professionals that work in the industry that actually live here. So we have a location manager. She worked on like 13 Reasons Why and the TV show House. We have Alexander Payne's second unit director. We have the prop master and set decorator for SNL, Saturday Night Live, that live here now. It's amazing the people that now live here. Blanking out on her. Tracy worked on Mad Men, the TV show. So these people have worked on huge Hollywood movies and TV shows that live here. And so we ended up, and then not only them, but then they introduced us to some of their friends. So we created a series called Meet the Experts shortly right after having Kevin do that. It made us realize like, oh, you know, we have all these people here. Let's have a series where we interview them about what it's like to either film here or work here, and what it's like to work in the industry and what locals should know. And so we have about, I want to say about 12, a dozen of them. And they're all on YouTube, but you can access them through our Facebook page as well. Nate has been putting them on there and the link to it. And so you can sit there and watch for an hour-ish us interviewing either locals that work in the industry or their friends who have done huge things in the industry. So it's a really fun series to watch if you're interested in that. So the next movie that we're going to talk about, you know, speeding right along through, you know, the 100 years of filming. Obviously, we can't talk about everything. There was 2 major movies that made Ferndale kind of epic. And they were kind of back to back. And one of them was Outbreak and one of them is The Majestic. And Outbreak and The Majestic both made Main Street their own. You know, they turned some of the storefronts their own, their facade. They used a lot of the extras. I believe Bob Wells, you can't talk, but you were, I'm going to try to find you so you can nod your head at me. I think weren't you like a priest in The Majestic or Outbreak? Which one was it? You were in The Majestic? Was it The Majestic you were featured or Outbreak? 1 for Outbreak, 2 for Majestic.
Are you there?
Yeah. Oh, you can talk. Great. Yes. Which
an extra in Outbreak. I had 3 different versions of the disease, and I ended up on the cutting room floor. But yeah, The Majestic, I was the Reverend.
The Reverend, yes, yes, yes. And you did a funeral, didn't you? A funeral scene or something?
In the Wells,
yeah.
The Wells plot of Ferndale. I have no idea where that came from, but yeah.
And you had speaking lines. Yeah, I remember watching that. That was amazing. Yeah. So, and again, you come up later when we do The Wine is Summer. So that's amazing that you're even here. So what we are going to watch the Outbreak trailer, and then we will watch the Majestic trailer. Go ahead, Nate.
In a remote African jungle, a small monkey is captured. bound for a pet store in America, the animal carries a deadly virus.
Now, I know that some of us have doubts about what we're about to do. We'd be less than human if we didn't. But the fate of the nation, perhaps the world, is in our hands. We cannot, we dare not refuse this burden. I'm confident that each of you will do his duty. God forgive us.
Your town is being quarantined.
We got 19 dead. You got 100 more infected. It's spreading like a brush fire.
What are you talking about?
If one of them's got it, then 10 of them have got it now. And if one of them gets out of Cedar Creek, we have a very interesting problem.
If that bug gets out of there, 260 million Americans will be dead or dying.
I'm leaving with the team in an hour.
From the heart of a small California town.
Damn it, Sam, I want to save these people same as you.
To the inner circle of power in Washington.
The most optimistic projection for the spread of the virus is this: 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours.
The greatest medical crisis of all time.
We can't stop it.
Begins.
Try to remain calm.
Many people are dying and are going to continue to die unless we find this monkey.
There will be panic the likes of which we have never seen.
There you are!
Attention, Portland residents, citizens of San Diego, residents of Atlanta, Denver residents of Detroit, attention, Dallas residents, citizens of Chicago.
Well, that one's a little too close to home. Ironically enough, its 30th anniversary was this March, and we did not feel comfortable promoting that since shelter in place was taking place from the pandemic. So that was very interesting for us. But obviously you can see how they utilized our area, the tree lines and Ferndale show up beautifully. So let's go ahead and move right into the Majestic and show how they used it in comparison to Outbreak.
What if you and me just drive up the coast till the sun comes up, never come back?
What in the hell happened to you, son?
Not exactly sure.
Once upon a time, a stranger came to town.
You have no idea who you are or how you got here?
Wink. Only to discover he might not be such a stranger. After all,
I don't even know who I am.
it's Luke. Just look at him.
Look at him! Look at him!
Seeing you walk down the street was like seeing one of my own boys alive again.
This town gives 62 of its young men to the war, more than our share. This boy over here, Congress awarded him the Medal of Honor for courage, saving the lives of 8 men without thought to himself.
His name was Luke. He was my son. That's who you are.
Best thing you can do is gently reintroduce the person to things that were once familiar.
Do you remember me?
No, but I'll sure try.
We were in love, weren't we?
Yeah.
In a place like this, the magic is all around you. The trick is to see it. Now that you're back, we're gonna reopen the Majestic.
I can't help wondering, where's Luke been all this time? I mean, 9.5 years.
Your father said I would start to remember things.
What do you remember?
What happens if his memory does come back? Which life would he choose?
This town's had enough heartbreak. Who are you, really? Just a guy trying to figure things out.
From the director of The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile comes the story of a man brought back to life and the town he brought back with him.
You don't know what you meant to this town suddenly being alive.
Jim Carrey. The Majestic.
Totally opposite of Outbreak. You know, it's a feel-good movie. And what's really fun is to watch both of them for locals, if you know who's been in it, like Bob Wells, who's, on this Zoom call with us. It's really fun to watch the different people that I know locally as well as the locations. And so that's great. When productions do come, they often do hire locals to do extras, or what we call under five sometimes, or I'm blanking out on the term for, there's leads and then there's Nate, help me out. What's the word for blanking out on the word, but there's leads, there's this, and then there's under five, and then there's background.
Featured extras.
Supporting role is what I was looking for. So leads are our main people. Supporting roles have lines, but they're more, they're not quite a lead. And then, but he's right, there are featured extras, which I've been a featured extra before, where maybe you do something, you don't say something, but you do something that's featured, that's predominant, that someone would remember. So you're not just a person walking by. Or you have the under five, the featured extra, and then the extra. And so a lot of times people do get hired for that when we do have production here. So in the sake of time, we're just going to keep moving right along. And one of our main things that gets filmed a lot is our state parks. And whether it's Humboldt or Del Norte, obviously they are amazing. You can't see anything else like that anywhere else. And so, especially Fern Canyon. Fern Canyon is so popular now that if we do film there, we are not allowed to say it's Fern Canyon in the credits, most locations. And people want credit for it. And they're the one that says, we will allow you to film there if you don't tell anyone it's Fern Canyon, because they've had so many tourists and they want to make sure to keep preserving the area and not let it be trampled. So we are going to show you Jurassic Park Lost World.
Mommy! Daddy! I found something!
A British family on a yacht cruise stumbled upon Site B.
Now it's only a matter of time before this lost world is found and pillaged.
Hopefully we've kept this island quarantined and contained, but I'm in shock about all this. That's how it always starts. But then later there's running and then screaming.
What the hell was that?
Go. As fast as you can.
I need you to send rescue immediately.
Taking dinosaurs off this island is the worst idea in history of bad ideas.
Let's get this movable feast underway. Don't move!
What is it?
Mommy's very angry.
They also filmed around Old Bluff Beach. And Nate, where else did you think that you saw it? You said you thought it was in that area, Fern Canyon. And was there a third area, Nate? He's muted.
Fieldbrook. The scene that you saw in that when they're chasing the dinosaurs with the Jeeps is actually just outside Fieldbrook, because we also filmed part of Woodstock there, the Kirsten Dunst movie, which we'll show.
Oh, right, yeah, which we aren't going to show, but
oh no, we're not. Never mind. Sorry.
yeah, but Woodstock, Kirsten Dunst did film there. Okay, keep going with our time so that we don't. We have a movie with Johnny Depp, starring Johnny Depp. And it's called Dead Man. It's not one of his most famous movies. It was a black and white feature film, and it actually filmed along the Klamath River and at the opening of the Klamath to the ocean. And it's one of the more artsy kind of productions that he was part of. So we are going to show you that.
Yeah, the director is Jim Jarmusch, who's actually known for his black and white movies. So this is kind of a cult classic nowadays.
speak to Mr. Dickinson. No, I don't think you want to do that.
The only job you're going to get in here is pushing up daisies from a pine box. Now get out.
Charlie.
I never wanted to go away. I never stopped loving.
Don't!
What name were you given at birth, stupid white man? I'm William Blake.
And you are a dead man.
You three are supposed to be the finest killers in this here half of the world. I want him brought here to me. Alive or dead don't matter, though I reckon dead would be easier. The hunt is on.
Your hair is soft. It's like a girl's. Now, how do you get it that way? See, this old stuff of mine, it's just like old barn hay. There ain't a darn thing you can do with it.
You had the last Philistine. This one's mine.
Is that a fact?
Well, how if I just shoot you then, eh? What do you think about that?
That weapon will replace your tongue, and your poetry will now be written with blood.
Johnny Depp, Gary Farmer, Lance Henriksen, Michael Wincott, Millie Avatal, Crispin Glover, Iggy Pop, Billy Bob Thornton, Jared Harris, and Gabriel Byrne, John Hurt, Alfred Molina, with special appearance by Robert Mitchum.
You William Blake?
Yes, I am. Do you know my poetry?
That there Blake fella keeps on shooting marshals. I'll end up liking them.
Dead Man. The new film by Jim Jarmusch. Original soundtrack by Neil Young.
I like how Alex in our group commented he knew Iggy Pop was in it, and that Neil Young did the music. So thank you, just Alex. So moving right along, we come to the very first movie that I helped work on as film commissioner in 2010, 2011. And it was After Earth, starring Will Smith and his son, Jaden Smith. Unfortunately, it was promoted as a Will Smith action adventure when really it was a family movie, coming of age film. So it didn't do great, in the box office, but it does showcase us beautifully. And we are when 1,000 years after man has left Earth and the spaceship has crashed into Earth, and Earth is completely changed and no longer habitable. And Jaden has to go looking for this certain thing to kind of save the spaceship and help him and his dad leave the planet again before chaos erupts. So we're the first part of his journey. So yeah, it was amazing. We filmed this down on Humboldt Road State Park, some out on Neeland by the airport, across from the airport. I think that was mostly it where we ended up filming. But it was 9 days of filming, brought in millions of dollars to the economy. We worked on that movie for a year. So for a year, 3 people knew that Will Smith was coming to town, and they knew that I would kill them if they told anyone. Sort of, not kidding. But anyways, here we go. Let's show the trailer.
Crash landed. 2 confirmed survivors. Son, this is not training. This is a Class 1 quarantined planet. The threats we will be facing are real. Everything on this planet has evolved to kill. humans. Every single decision we make will be life or death. But if we are going to survive this, you must realize that fear is not real. It is a product of thoughts you create. Now, do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real. But fear is a choice. Do you know where we are?
No, sir.
This is Earth.
So I was lucky enough to go to set when this was filming, and that scene where Jaden runs off the log and dives down, and then he goes down that waterfall. So once he leaves that log, the rest of the filming happens in Costa Rica. But I was there, standing there, and it was actually the same stuntman who did Hunger Games set up the mechanism there for Jaden to do that. And so I got to watch that whole stunt take place. It was really fun to see it all happen. And of course, M. Night Shyamalan was the director, and Will obviously was standing there off to the side coaching his son. So it was pretty fun. So this brings us to our amazing local director, Maria Mattioli, who did a study film in New York, as well as she went to Italy and lived abroad, and has come back and now has settled here with her family, her husband and her kids. And she is a local who lives here, who was raised here, Maria Mattioli, but she makes, big movies. So you can see Wine of Summer. I believe it's on Amazon or Netflix. I can't remember which one it's actually on. Maybe Netflix. And she
Amazon.
Is it Amazon? Thank you, Nate. And so a portion of it takes place here when this young man who's an acting student wants to go find himself, basically, and it starts off here, or what looks like here, Old Town, and he decides to venture off to Barcelona. So the rest of the movie takes place there. But of course, our amazing Bob Wells, who is on this Zoom call, was cast as one of the leads in the feature film. So you can watch him on it. And let's watch the epic trailer.
A light existed in the corner of the room. A small yellow triangle of light. Her eyes caught it, held it. Magic they were, golden and devouring.
Do you believe in fate?
I believe in the idea of fate. I don't know if I believe in fate itself.
You need to find the girl with golden eyes, whomever she may be, to you.
My life. I'm living it. If I'm not doing what makes me happy, then what's the point?
Why are you here?
To figure out what this is all about. This magical life in Spain that inspired him to write so many amazing plays. I miss you so much.
This is my life.
I didn't mean for it to go this way.
Where did you mean for it to go?
I see you here. And I see it all so clearly. What that summer must have been like when he wrote about it.
until you found me.
I have a friend who would say it was fate. Yeah, maybe it is.
So that was Bob right there at the end saying, I have a friend who said it may be fate, who's also on our call right now. So as you can see, he's an amazing actor, and I pay homage to you, Bob Wells. Thank you for being on this with us. You're an amazing theater actor locally, as well as a film actor. Interesting enough, the same DP, Andy and Malcolm, who shot my video that I showed you earlier, our locations video that we used to market the area. Andy also shot this movie, as well as Malcolm worked on it as well. So Maria took full advantage of our local crew here, which was amazing, and took them to Barcelona. She also took Montel, who teaches at CR and HSU for film, amongst others. So Heather, who does hair, she does my hair. She did hair, I believe, and makeup there as well. And it was amazing. So we're really excited to have her. And I know she's been in her work. She's got a movie to take place Midwest, as well as a New York movie, but obviously that got put on hold when COVID started happening. And now she's working on a movie that will be shot here. So moving on, we had another movie at the same time that we had that Kirsten Dunst movie that Nate brought up earlier, Woodstock. We had another movie that started filming one day later, and it was Swiss Army Man. It's starring our beloved Daniel Radcliffe, who you might know him as Harry Potter, but this is one of his movies that was his breakout movie to stop being a childhood hero and instead start doing adult movies, which says a lot about this character, as you will see. So Nate, could you please show the trailer?
Just have to remember that we're all here for a purpose, and the universe picks its time.
I need you to help me get home. Okay, buddy?
Okay, buddy.
You're a miracle. Or I'm just hallucinating from starvation. You're special. I'm special. There's 7 billion people on the planet. You might be lucky enough to bump into the one person you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Oh my God.
So this is the life I've forgotten.
This is just the beginning.
So if you couldn't tell, Daniel Radcliffe is unfortunately a dead corpse at the beginning of the movie, and he somehow miraculously comes kind of alive for the other lead, Paul Dano, who's an amazing, brilliant actor. And yes, so they have this incredible, weird, bizarre story together that ends up being actually quite beautiful, if you can imagine, and shows us off beautifully with our beaches as well as the forest. So we will move on now to one of our bigger movies that we had here, but they filmed 5 days. They dropped a pleasant $1 million in that 5 days in winter, which is amazing when that happens, because that's when hotels normally don't see a lot of, people traveling through. It's the off season, crew, vendors, all those people don't necessarily get a lot of business in November, December. But these guys dropped $1 million in November, December, and it was A Wrinkle in Time with the director, Ava DuVernay, who's utterly amazing. And they originally came for what they said, a bowl. They wanted this kind of bowl in the ground that they needed. So they came here to scout that, and the location manager came to scout it. She lost her luggage. Her car wasn't ready. There was all kinds of mishaps, and we weren't going to scout till the next day. And I said, "What else do you need?" Because I was trying to make her happy. So I brought her a t-shirt. Oh yeah, she didn't have a nightgown. So I brought her a t-shirt from the office to sleep in. And I said, well, "Let me take you to dinner. What else do you need?" And she said, "Oh, the other thing we're looking for is some rocks with some trees." And the way that she described it, I was like, "I know exactly what you're talking about. We have that at Patrick's Point State Park." Sure enough, they filmed a couple days there, as well as Sequoia Park. They did not film the bowl here, but thank goodness for that conversation that we had. They ended up filming 5 days here with us. So we will show you that trailer next. Well, and behind the scenes.
Energy and action.
My overall vision for the film is to create, with a fantastic team of artists and craftspeople, something visually stunning. Something that reverberates within you when you see it. Something that sticks to your ribs.
That's it. I love it.
I think that the particular discipline, organization, and artful eye that Ava brings to the work inspires everybody who's working for her.
And action!
Your father is lost in the universe.
My father's alive.
How about we go and find him? A Wrinkle in Time is a story about a girl named Meg. She's imperfect. She's all of us.
She's in a package that's much different than most cinematic heroes. A black girl with curly hair and glasses. It's the idea that any of us can be a hero.
I've never been part of a movie where the diversity represented on camera and off camera is so effortlessly inclusive.
This is my favorite planet in the entire galaxy. No offense to Earth.
It was amazing to watch this army of hundreds of people coming to make this film. I was excited to be part of Ava's vision.
Let's keep that energy.
As a team, we've come up with some things that allow us to give folks a little extraordinary, a little beyond the ordinary. We're putting a lot of different ingredients in there. Hopefully our recipe is delicious.
This great adventure of a film has been one of the great adventures of my own life. Can't do better than that.
Cut, nice.
Rated PG.
It was also pretty amazing when Ava posted on her Facebook about filming here. She would post as we were filming, and for the longest time, her background picture was this area, as well as her posts were like seen by a lot of people and one of her most liked posts. So it was pretty incredible how much she advertised filming in the Redwood region. We also have a short clip of her talking in New Zealand, as I mentioned earlier, where she's standing at the bowl that they found that they did not find here, that they needed in the ground, but she's talking about Humboldt.
Hi, I'm Ava DuVernay. Just wanted to send a quick note to you all gathered there tonight. You all look really good. I can see you. Anyway, just wanted to say thank you so much to Humboldt. I had the honor and the opportunity to film in that beautiful part of the country, the beautiful part of our state, the beautiful part of the world, really. Humboldt is pretty much awesome for our film Wrinkle in Time. Right now we're in New Zealand, but it pales in comparison, if you believe it or not, to the beautiful time that we had in Humboldt County, the graciousness of the people, the gorgeous terrain, and just the grit and gusto of the energy there. It all went into our picture, and it really means a lot. So anyway, I hope you all are having a beautiful evening, and just wanted to say thank you and peace. Bye.
So we have an event called the Red Carpet Gala, at least we did pre-COVID. We'll see when we can continue doing that again, where we show the Academy Awards on the big screen at the Eureka Theater, as well as during the commercial break, we give out local awards to people who are film friendly. We also give one industry award, and we gave Ava an industry award for filming in the area. And she made that video for us at that time. We had an amazing year in 2018, right after our 100-year anniversary. Oh, my little 5-pound Pomeranian wants to say hi to you. Oh, here she is. See, okay, so we have a little commercial break with the dog. There she is. She's come to visit. So we had an amazing year in 2018, where we had 4 movies come out at the same time. I believe there was one other time, as my assistant researched, but not in our time that he and I have been working at the office. So that was a big deal for us because they were pretty big movies. And so we had a little video talking about that. So those were pretty big movies for us. And the last one being our biggest because Bird Box, which was shot in Del Norte County starring Sandra Bullock, was the #1 movie ever downloaded on Netflix ever. They've had a series that surpassed that, but not a feature film to my understanding and still to date. So we've had the #1 movie ever downloaded on Netflix, which was pretty exciting and shot a lot in Del Norte County. If you've seen it, it starts off in LA at a particular house. They shot in, my poor dog is trembling. It's a scary movie, so she's scared. It's okay. And it was shot at a house in LA. And then from there, it went to, they supposedly leave, Sandra Bullock supposedly leaves and goes to runs to the forest, which obviously those aren't connected, but we become the forest. And then she ventures from house and for a couple years, ransacks a couple houses and goes through a couple different places trying to live for a couple years or months, maybe it's not years, but time passes, and then ends up on the Smith River trying to escape to get to safety. And at the end, she ends up at a place for the blind. So that is how the movie ends, in a happy ending. So from that, if you don't know the movie, in the movie, she has to wear a blindfold the entire time, because if you don't, unfortunately, this bad thing, if you look at it, it will kill you, which obviously is very scary. So a bazillion people decided to create memes that they sent around the internet about Bird Box and not having a blindfold and looking at something. And so everybody, including their mother, sent me and my assistant every single meme that was made about Bird Box. So we're going to show you a little video about that.
What
So you might not have caught what each of those memes said, but the point is there was literally hundreds of memes, those little images with, jokes about the movie sent to everybody around the internet. And of course, we received them privately from everybody because they all thought that we deserved it since we helped film the movie. It was pretty hilarious. It just shows the popularity of that movie. And it was amazing because, yes, at the same time, a week later, Murder Mountain came out, the documentary on Netflix, unfortunately. We have documentaries that continue to come and say, oh, we want to show all sides, and then they often take one side. That one did come out, and we have no control over what they do. That one came out 5 days later. So I was able to, when I went to Sundance, able to say, oh, you know, I'm from Humboldt, and they'd go, oh, Murder Mountain. And I go, oh no, Bird Box. And so we were able to talk about Bird Box to people and kind of cover up the whole Murder Mountain thing. And it was just so huge that the memes just show the popularity of it. But it's really done a really great thing for us as far as Hollywood and working with location managers, who is who we work with predominantly, and talking to other film people who are interested in working with us to say, did you see Bird Box? And most of them have. And we can say, well, the redwoods and the river scenes, those were us. And that shows them what we look like on the big screen with a famous actress, you know, in scenes like that. And so it's been a really good marketing tool for us. So as I mentioned earlier, I've done 10 years of being film commissioner, 20 years in the industry, 10 years as film commissioner, and October 15th was my 10-year anniversary. So Nate, my assistant, made a video of all the things that we've kind of done. It just, you know, is photographs and a few little clips of, you know, our red carpet galas, our events, me presenting at a few different places. And just so you know, we helped over 222 shoots in that 10 years. We have brought in an estimated over $11+ million. And when you add the multiplier of money that they may have spent outside of filming on nights and weekends, which is for every dollar they spend is $2.95, which is what the California Film Commission has told us, then more of the effect is more like, in the past 10 years, $32.7 million of how we've helped the economy here in Humboldt and Del Norte counties. I do have somebody who's saying that they have trouble hearing. Can everybody else hear me right now? Yes, okay, great. So I'm so sorry for the person who can't hear. It seems my assistant is trying to help them, so I'll let that happen. But yes, sorry, Nina, that you're having a hard time hearing, but Nate, it looks like he's trying to help you here. But it's amazing. You know, when I first started doing this job, it was because I loved film and I wanted to tell stories. I'm a storyteller. I also act and direct at Redwood Curtain Theater. I've done theater for over 30 years. And I got into film 20 years ago because I just love it. I love telling stories. I love the impact it makes on an audience and how sometimes it can change your life or remind you who you are. And I love that. I love that. And I didn't realize, being film commissioner, this part of the job, what I was also doing was contributing to the economy here. I had no idea of that aspect. I thought, oh, I'm helping make movies. That'll be amazing. And we have these beautiful locations. And then it started dawning on me and became part of my job to justify my job, which was that money is brought in here temporarily. And that is utterly amazing. And it helps a rural area that is otherwise, you know, a depressed economy. So that became a huge motivation in my job. So when we say that we brought in 32.7 million possibly in 10 years, I feel pretty proud of that. And hopefully most of those were respectful of our community, took care of the environment, and didn't leave harm when they left. So we do have a video though, I think, that Nate is gonna play, which is a short little video, or kind of a long video, that shows you the past 10 years. I am a president of FLIX, which is the Film Liaisons in California statewide, as well as the commissioner for Humboldt and Del Norte counties in Northern California. I'd like to welcome you to the 11th Annual Film in California Conference. Welcome to Meet the Experts. I am Cassandra Hesseltine, Film Commissioner for Humboldt and Del Norte counties, and I am really excited to interview you because you are a special person in my life. So just to kind of let you know, to recap the past 10 years, we became a nonprofit and held board retreats, create policies and procedures. We created an online newsletter that goes out to over 400 location managers. We held the region's first FAM tour, which is that picture that you saw of a group of people in front of a tree. That was a bunch of location managers from Hollywood. We created Local Filmmakers Night, where we showcased local filmmakers and the works that they do. We created movies in the park at Sequoia Park, and even have had over 500 to 700 people, I think 7 around, for Return of the Jedi, which is a free once a month in the summer free screening that we do at Sequoia Park. We created red carpet gala with community awards. As I mentioned earlier, we throw red carpet movie releases for movies that were filmed here. Nate did Martini Matinee, which was on the weekends at the Eureka Theater, where we showed old movies that filmed here with martinis. I've been a guest speaker and keynote speaker for many functions. We've attended trade shows in LA and London to promote the region. We were featured in the LA Times, Variety Magazine, as well as others, attended Sundance to promote and encourage indie filmmakers to come. Partnered with Humboldt Made for Welcome Baskets. So all our welcome baskets have local products in them. I was Flick's treasurer for 2 years and then president for 3.5 years. And now I'm immediate past pres, as I mentioned earlier. We've had numerous winners of an event called COLA, which is California on Locations Award Show for filming in California. And we've had winners that filmed here in the region. We presented at the state capitol for the California Film Tax Incentive, which I mentioned earlier. We created the Meet the Expert series, which you saw in the video. I completed the AFCI Film Commission International Certification, which I mentioned earlier about in the spring. And we were one of 5 finalists for Outstanding Film Office for Location Managers Guild International, which basically means we were nominated for Best Film Commissioner in the world. That's what we've done in the past 10 years, besides help all the productions that have been here. And I think, so now this brings me to that has been everything up until now. So presently, we've had 6 productions that have come to the area since COVID. And what did we do about that? Because obviously that is a big, big deal. And it's been really, really important for us that we protect our community. Though I'm from LA Orange County, I went to college here. I moved and went back down there to work in film, came back, and I've spent 20 plus years here in this area. You know, I built houses here, married and divorced here, had 2 children here. I've, lived in this community just like you guys have. And so for me, it's very important that I protect you guys as I'm helping with the economy here. So the state of California has something called the white paper, which is all about rules and restrictions on how to film in the state of California, which is 22 pages long. Public Health okayed that, but they added their special things like films can't come here unless they've been tested before they've entered our county. They can also not take our beds. They also, hospital beds, that is. They also can't impact our labs. There's a whole bunch of things that they can't do, which we let them know ahead of time. And so, yes, we do have, as someone asked earlier, some movies. We had 2 movies, one here that, thank you, Mary, I saw your message down there. We have one movie that's here currently called The Sky is Everywhere, AKA they're known as Clarinet, but the news has already admitted what their real title is. Yes, Jason Segel's in it. So is Cherry Jones, which she's utterly amazing. So is some up and coming youngsters that play the leads, the teenage leads. It's going to be a lovely, happy movie. I'm really excited that they're here. They will be here a couple more weeks. They brought their own lab. They test daily. They've been utterly amazing about being COVID safe for our community. They tested twice before they could even enter here into our county. We had a movie that was here. They went on hold and it looks like they're going to be coming back in about a week. And they will be also following strict protocol as well, while they're also helping our economy. So that is happening. In future, we hope that more movies come as long as they were responsible, that they take care of our community, they protect our environment, and they are, very COVID savvy. So that is my goal, is to protect all of you guys while we also have this amazing, way of making money here in the area. I know we've been going for a long time, so I'm going to stop talking there. Do we have questions? I think, Steve, you're going to moderate that part.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat and I can read them aloud. And just while we're waiting to see if there's any questions, just a reminder, we are recording this and we'll put it on YouTube. So if, I know some people were having some audio issues, so you can always catch up on YouTube, and I will email that link out as soon as it's available to everybody who signed up for the program. Okay, is there any questions?
Nope.
The original video that you showed, the one that you give out to location agents and things, is there a place online where someone can watch that?
Yeah, that's on our YouTube channel as well. So we have a YouTube channel, and we also have a Facebook, thing that you can go on there and you can find our YouTube channel on there. Because sometimes, if you Google, you could Google Humboldt-Del Norte Film Commission and find our channel that way. Or sometimes it's easier just to go to our Facebook page. Excuse me. It was only my dog and the dander got into my throat. But you could find us that way. And I think Nate just recently posted a link to our Facebook page, which has some of our YouTube page on our Facebook page that has some of our YouTube videos, including that one.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So we've got a question. Are all the movies filmed here listed on your website?
They are. So we have a thing called filmography, which we do need to update, I think the past year, possibly maybe 2 years. But it shows all the productions. So it shows everything: commercials, reality TV, feature films, everything on there, that has filmed in our area. So yeah, if you go on our website, it's called Filmography, and that will show you everything that's filmed in the area.
Another question: have you cooperated with either of the local video rental stores to rent these movies? So I guess to have these movies available to rent.
That was a thought earlier on when we were working with the video stores when they used to donate to our local filmmakers night. But now that obviously video stores aren't as prominent, it's not something that we have stayed upon. They used to have little categories, and I think even the one in Arcata by Hennessy, she has more of a local section where she has local movies that have stayed. I don't know if Spotlight in Eureka still does, but for a while they were all kind of carrying the local movies and having a local section in there. But as they've kind of, obviously closed and we've moved on to other platforms, it hasn't been a thing. So what we do is we show where they're streaming on our Facebook page. So if you go on there, you can see what we highlight when where movies are streaming, where you can find them.
And let's see, any other questions? What are some of your favorite movies that you've talked about? Do you have a favorite or one that you hold particularly dear?
It's really hard because we're so biased. It's so different. My experiences when I work on these movies is completely different than when someone else local watches them. So my experience is like, maybe working with the director or a crew or just, loving the behind the scenes part. So, we did kind of a fun little, top 10 movies in Humboldt County with Andrew Goff for Lost Coast Outpost. We did a podcast with him and he was surprised at our choices, but Nate and I, picked ones that were good, but also were meaningful to us when we worked on them. And so for me, I loved working with Daniel Radcliffe, from Swiss Army Man. Yes, he plays a dead corpse who's farting, it's really cheesy and hilarious, but he was so great with our public and so great with our crew. He memorized everybody by name. If I showed up the second day late, like at 2 p.m. because I had to visit a couple other sets, and when I showed up, he immediately was, "Oh, hey, Cassandra, welcome back to the set," in his cute little British accent. He memorizes everyone's name. He's grateful for his fame and fortune, and he was fine with locals wanting to have pictures with him and talk to him. He was so sweet and giving that I had no idea, that he was going to be that way. So I love moments like that when they can be very giving to our community and very kind and respectful. Or Ava DuVernay, the director of Wrinkle in Time. As I said, we did Humboldt made gift baskets, and she grabbed me by the shoulders at one point because we also do a tray of all of the Cypress Grove cheese. They donate a huge tray and of the cheese and like crackers and apples and all these things to the production office. Well, she went to the production office and saw it, and the next day and had some, and the next day grabbed me by the shoulders on set and said, "Oh my God, that cheese," she's like, "We descended on the cheese," and it was so cute. And after that, she, wanted to know how to buy it and is having it shipped to to LA now. So those are those moments that I love. So when I say, oh, I love a particular movie, it's because I love these moments that happen to me behind the scenes, working with them. It's just, I love, again, watching someone. I love the first time someone sees our redwoods. I loved going with Ava DuVernay or other different people who have never seen our redwoods before and being in a car, or a van and traveling. So I love those moments. I love when they love our Humboldt made products. I love when they fall in love with our community. So, it's hard for me to pick a movie that I love that filmed here because I end up saying that I love them for those reasons. So.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Cassandra? All right, so I think that's about it. So just want to thank you for doing this. This was really great. It was super informative and really fun just to see Humboldt County through the years through film. So for everyone on here, if you're here, you're signed up for future lectures. So our next one is on, on something the redwoods. So I will send out that information. You'll automatically get it as an email. As well as information about future library programs. So on that note, just want to wish everybody a happy weekend. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next time. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for spending your Saturday with me.
Who saved the redwoods? That's what it is. Thank you, John.